Hey, sweetheart.
Hey.
Do you think you could help me with a video?
Yeah.
You get to go through my drawers and pick out Mommy's makeup. And then tomorrow when I do my makeup, I'm going to put on whatever you pick for me. How does that sound? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Can you show me who you brought upstairs with you?
I brought 2 Snow White.
Did you? Do you love Snow White?
Yeah, I brought a Barbie one and a soft one.
Aww.
They really wanted to come.
Oh, they really wanted to come up?
Yeah, we were taking a walk.
Oh, okay. What do you think about makeup? What letter is that?
E.
My name starts with an E, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a brush?
Yeah,
Soft one or a rough one?
a soft one.
Okay.
And I love my bow in my hair.
Any foundation you want out of there. That one? Pop it in. Can you find a concealer that you think would be good on me? Whichever one you think looks good. That one?
Yeah.
Well, look who's here! Can you explain to Daddy what you're doing?
I'm taking a video. I'm picking Mommy's makeup. How to?
You can pick any powder you want.
I choose the pink one.
I need you to tell Biddy to choose a bronzer.
Choose a bronzer, baby.
Here, Biddy. Which one do you want to get? Grab out anything you want, Biddy. That one?
Oh.
Okay, can I have it? Thank you. Thank you for your input. Much appreciated. Oh, well, you know, it's good to have options. I like the way you think.
Okay, we're gonna cool it down the bronzer. Now what?
Mommy needs one blush from this drawer.
Here.
Okay, Biddy says that. What do you think? Nugget, you got a couple there? This is the highlighter drawer. Oh, are we going for the shiniest we can find? Is that it?
Yeah.
Can you get an eyebrow thing out of this general area? What you got there? Pencil? That'll do. Thank you. Pick me a mascara. Mommy loves that. How about one more?
You love this one too.
You grab me an eyeshadow primer over here, whichever one looks good to you.
I think this one looks good.
Oh, Milani eyeshadow primer? A girl after my own heart. Okay, great. And how about an eyeliner?
What?
You want to pick out of that drawer?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Very, very important here. We're going to pick the lip color. Nudes, neutrals, pinks, berries, reds, or corals. Which one sounds good? Do you want more red? Do you want it more pink?
Red.
Have at it. Whichever one you want.
I'm using this for a little bit.
Do you want some brows? She's doing her brows, y'all. Yes. Brush them just whatever direction floats your boat. Good morning, everybody. Here I am sitting down to my makeup area, getting ready to apply all of the stuff that Belle picked out for me. So she really enjoys getting in the makeup room. Anytime she's awake and she knows I'm in here, like, she's up here. So that was really where that video stemmed from. I was up here kind of organizing a few things, thinking about some upcoming videos, and she comes up and she's like, Mommy, what you doing? And then it just kind of dawned on me, I should go ahead and do this video. And then later this morning after she's up, we'll discuss, you know, how the look turned out. But she did choose the Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation, which is kind of hilarious that this happened because I just recently picked up the new version of this, the Lasting Finish Breathable, I think it's called, and that's going to be definitely covered in an upcoming video. So this is the original, and it'll be kind of nice to have recently worn this so I can really, you know, do some comparing. But I wear this in the shade Soft Beige, and I'm going to dot this around here. I've already moisturized, but in case you're not familiar, I do love this foundation. I have a history of loving this stuff. So I think it has really good staying power, good coverage too. You know, it's not going to be the fullest coverage thing on the market, but I do think it's impressive and it's also buildable. But it's been a foundation that I have truly liked since the start of my channel. And this is my Kaylin brush, by the way, that I got from Amazon a while back. Really do like this brush. Got all that redness around my nose from having a cold lately. So real medium coverage there happening on my face. You can still see circles, still see some freckles there, but a really good evening out of the skin. Then I've got the Infallible Pro Glo Concealer, which I have talked a lot about, I feel like, lately. Classic Ivory is my best shade in this, and I feel like it's a really great concealer when you're using lighter coverage products because it just doesn't cake up. It sort of wears really well alongside those things. It doesn't end up looking like its own cakey concealer layer, you know? And I do find this shade to be a little bit brightening, so I can put it wherever I really want to brighten on the face. I'm gonna blend that out a little bit with this same brush. Now see, coverage-wise, you're going to be lacking a little something on those dark circles. This and this alone, you know, you'd need a corrector to come in and help you with that level of concealing if you do have, you know, some circles to cover. Yeah, I haven't really taken Belle through color correcting 101 yet, so. I think this is looking quite good so far, and she grabbed this powder. This is a Too Faced Primed and Poreless. This is like a pressed translucent powder, which I really like this one, and I know she chose it because it was pink, but I'm going to get a little bit of this on my e.l.f. small tapered brush and use this for a little under eye setting powder, mattifier, perfector kind of step. And then I'm going to very lightly set all over with a larger brush. Just getting a little of this powder elsewhere on the face. The lasting finish isn't like a ultra tacky foundation, but I think it helps to sort of, you know, even out all the texture on my skin. Now Eve, aka Little Bit, aka Little Biddle, aka Biddle, aka Bitty Baby, picked out these next couple of products out of the bronzer drawer. She seemed to instinctively know that sometimes you need a contour and then you may need a separate product for bronzer. So that's what we're working with here. We've got this NYX Cheek Contour Duo. I've barely used this product. It's in the shade Double Date, and you've got kind of a cool matte contour, and then this light shade here. In fact, I might use some of the lighter color. Wow, that picked up a lot. A little bit here for brightening on the under eye area. Very brightening. And I'll do a little contour here with my e.l.f. brush. I think I've mentioned in a past video, I'm trying not to take the contour quite so low. Bring it up a little higher and the whole face just ends up looking a little more lifted. Then I think I will use a little bronzer from this palette. I'll go between maybe these two deeper shades and just kind of put that where the sun might shine. This is really not a bad bronzer palette, honestly. I mean, if you like more of a subtle look, I think that's more what it's going to give you. They do have a pretty nice highlight in this palette as well. I just a lot of times don't find myself necessarily needing a range of bronzer shades, like just one will usually work. Like I said in my favorites video, I'm so into that julep bronzer these days. Now for blush, they both kind of reached in and grabbed something. I think Eve picked out this one from Makeup Revolution. It's Beloved, the matte powder blush. This is a really subtle shade on me, but I think we'll go ahead and try this one on first. And then if we want to amp up that color a little bit, we have the Too Faced Love Flush blush in Justify My Love that Belle found. Not at all surprised, it has a heart and pink. But these Makeup Revolution matte blushes are really wonderful. This just happens to be a super subtle shade. Like on my skin tone, it's a little light to really show up. So yeah, I will bring in the other shade. Yes, the wise 3-year-old knew I might need a little more. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty blush, these Love Flush blushes. The thing I love about this is that it's really prompting me to use certain things that I haven't really played with in a while. Just bring them back into my mind and enjoy them. It might even be fun to have like Tyler choose my makeup, or my mom, or you know, let me know who you want as another special guest. Then we have our lovely highlight here. This is the Too Faced Love Light in You Light Up My Life. So this is really gold, guys. Very gold highlight. Like seriously, I'm gonna need to use this really lightly for this to work on my skin. I am not a big fan of this because I feel like I can see that sort of shimmer trail, at least up close. Now I must say, looking up close, you know, my coverage is actually a little better than I expected, but things are looking a little dry just all over. I think it's all these different powders. And I forgot to ever choose a setting spray, so mommy gets to choose the setting spray. This is the Mario Badescu, the one with aloe, cucumber, and green tea. I just love the scent of this one. I think it's really refreshing, and it just does a good job of actually giving you a slightly dewy look when you get done putting it on. We didn't forget about brows. This is what Belle picked up, the Wet n Wild Color Icon Brow Pencil in Brunettes Do It Better. No offense. So this is just a little pencil. It's actually a really decent pencil. Like, the color definitely transfers off nicely, but it's not too goopy and creamy, you know? Creamy enough would be the way to describe it. I should totally be getting more use out of this because this is a really decent, good pencil. And it's got the spoolie on the other end. You can kind of lighten up the intensity. So that step I am really quite pleased with. I love the way the brows turned out, and guess what my girl picked out for my eyeshadow primer? You know, some wisdom you're just born with, I guess. I'm going to put on this Milani eyeshadow primer, which is a favorite of mine. I have been experimenting with the Marc Jacobs and also the Wet n Wild. Mostly the Marc Jacobs so far, and it works well. I truly can't say I have any complaints, but my Milani does work well as well, and it doesn't cost as much. And then for an eye palette, she picked out the In the Balm of Your Hand palette here, which is obviously very cute, and it does have like all the different face stuff in here as well, which I guess I could have gone for, but I know she specifically picked out those other face things, so that's what I used. But this stuff I will work in as my eyeshadow. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use this Meet Matte Adore shade, the Matte Russo color. It's kind of like a rosy light brown. I'll work that into my crease. And yeah, I love this palette actually, so I have no complaints here. I mean, if you were ever looking to try something from the Balm, this kind of palette is the way to go. You may be able to get your hands on In the Balm of Your Hand 1, but this is the most recent release that I know is, you know, out there and available. And you get like the iconic, really popular, well-known blush shades in their line. You get the Bahama Mama bronzer, Mary Luminizer highlight, and then these like 4 different eyeshadows that are coming from certain palettes, and they point out exactly what palette it's coming from. I think it's a brilliant idea. I love that greatest hits sort of best of the brand type concept. So now that I've worked that shade in, I'm kind of blending over my edge a bit. I'm using a little bit of the Mary Luminizer highlight right here under the brow. Makes a great eyeshadow. And I think I want a lot of brightness on my lid today, so I'm going to use Mary Luminizer also with a flat brush and just kind of pat that on the inner half of my lid. And then Alice Copper, this beautiful plum. It has a little shimmer in it, but it's a deep plummy kind of burgundy shade. I'll pat that on the outer part of the lid and kind of bring it inward to overlap. And then I'm kind of using this brush. This is the Wayne Goss 18 brush. Using this to sort of pull that shade around a bit and kind of bring it up into the crease and blend it there. I tell you, once I start using burgundies, mauves, any color like this on my eyes, I instantly see the green come out that's in my eyes. And then I think we'll go to the dark brown here from the Meet Matrimony palette and just blend that in slightly here in the outer corner. And then we'll just smudge that right on down to the lower lash line. Then Belle picked out a blue liquid eyeliner here that I don't know that I've ever worn. It's from Kat Von D. It's the Ink Liner, and it's a true blue. I guess it's not even really a navy. It's like a pure blue. We'll see how this plays with the rest of the look we got going on here. Gotta use it right. And guys, it's really opaque. I mean, it really shows, even going on top of different eyeshadows and stuff. What the heck, we'll give it a little wing here. Honestly, everything was kind of going along fairly normally, and then this blue liner came in. I feel like it's losing some juice on this other eye, though. See, like it's struggling over here. I don't get it. It's a very fine tip. Like maybe all the powder that it's going over is kind of getting to it. And that's about as good as I can do with that. But yep, there's my blue liner. And I think to make it hopefully mesh in a little bit better, I'm going to take some Alice Copper, the kind of plummy maroon here. And I'm going to sort of run that right underneath. And that way hopefully it will tie in just a little bit better, maybe. Oh my god, I just remembered we have a red lip coming up. Oh boy. Next up, curling my lashes, and she chose the Essence Lash Princess, and she also chose my Covergirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant, bless her heart. She knows. She knows what's up. Putting the Sculpted Volume Lash Princess up here, which is a mascara that I don't hate. Like, I actually think it's pretty decent. I call it the mascara that won't die in my collection because I feel like I actually have used it quite a bit, but I don't seem to be using it up. But like, it creates some decent length and volume. The thing about it for me where it's a little lacking is like when I go to see if it's held the curl, you know, it doesn't do that necessarily real well. And the mascara really does kind of take the edge off of the blue eyeliner just a little bit, so it's not quite so wild. Couple coats never hurt nobody. And we'll pop this, of course, on the lower lashes. This is my No Fail Lower Lash Mascara, so I was so glad she happened to pull this out. Okay, there's the eyes. Little blue pop of liner. Nothing wrong with that. And the only thing I have left is this Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Matador. So this is not one of the Pro Matte glosses. This is the Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick, which does have more of those liquid lipstick tendencies, as you would imagine. I haven't played with these as much as I have the Pro Matte glosses, but there have been a couple colors that I've liked from this line, so. I mean, let's face it, what little kid's gonna do this challenge and then pick out, like, a classic nude lip? I think when a kid clearly sees color, they're going for the color. This shade did apply really nicely, and I do like it as a red. I can feel the dry down starting to happen right now, and perhaps a little deepening of the color. You know, I was expecting maybe a little more brightness out of this, but liquid lipsticks do tend to dry down some. So what do we think, you guys? How'd our girl do? I mean, I'm overall, like, not displeased with this, really. She chose a foundation that I've loved for a long, long time, the Lasting Finish, and plus I'll have a really good frame of reference for when I compare this to the newer Rimmel foundation that they've just put out. The Pro Glo Concealer I enjoy. These days, if I'm struggling a little bit with more under eye darkness, I probably would be more likely to pair that with a corrector of some sort, but it didn't do a terrible job by any means, and it's a really nice, natural looking concealer that wears well. I had topped it with the Too Faced powder, which is a nice little, you know, translucent finishing powder. This NYX Cheek Contour Duo, I did notice a lot of like kind of powderiness, a lot of sort of fallout coming from these shades, but it's a decent, you know, contour palette. And then the bronzer came from this Maybelline palette, which is good. Ended up building up most of the intensity on the cheeks with the Too Faced Love Flush blush. This is the Justify My Love shade, and this is just a mini, by the way. But those are really nice quality blushes. I enjoyed that. The highlight, not so much. This was like putting pure, like sheer gold on my cheeks, and I had to go really light with that for it to make any sort of sense. Sorry, I'm losing the bun. Bun, if you can just hang on for like 2 more minutes. Terrific brow product here that I think is really gonna make it into my regular rotation for sure. Who doesn't like In the Balm of Your Hand, Volume 2? That did a great shadow look for basic everyday. This stuff was really impressed by the color. Like if you're looking for that exact blue color, it really does show up. Although I did think it lost some juiciness and intensity when I moved on to my other eye. It just wasn't really transferring on as easily. Oh, the Milani Eyeshadow Primer, thank you very much. The Covergirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant, great for lower lashes. This, as I said, not maybe my favorite for upper lashes, but not a bad mascara. And then the red lip with the blue liner, I mean, Now I feel like this has kind of really hit the dry down, and I can get a little bit of color off of it, but it's mostly like on there, it seems like, and it may have deepened a little since the first like stroke across my lips. And there's a little cling like when I touch my lips together like that, but it's not uncomfortable. It doesn't feel super drying or super mask-like, so I don't think this will be like an unpleasant or uncomfortable shade to wear today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye. So now I'm wearing all the makeup you picked out. What do you think of it?
Pretty.
What's your favorite part? Do you like the eyes, the lips, or the skin best? Which is your favorite part? And what about the blue eyeliner? What was the logic behind that?
I just like blue eyeliner.
You just like blue eyeliner? Okay, well, that's good enough for me.
I love you, Mama.
I love you.
Bye, everyone.
Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.